There will be my presentation at my university, the Ikra University. So I am preparing for that, and I have written my all the presentations in my this notebook. So I will be reading from that. I'm just practicing what I have write or wrote. So this is about the communication skills. The communication skills. So first I have written the class protocol. CLASS, class protocol. 5 key steps for clinical interviews. Actually, I have wrote this communication skills about doctors, like how you should take interviews or how you should contact the patient. So the first is C. C stands for context, and the second is L, listening skills. The third is A, acknowledge. The fourth is S, strategy. The fifth is summary, S for summary. So the class. So I will be discussing one by one. The first is context, the physical setup of the area you choose for the interview, like the office, like the room, like anything you want. This is the context. Number second is listening skills, that stand for L, how to be an effective listener you will be learn. The third thing you will learn, how to validate, explore and address emotions and concerns about patient. Then comes strategy, how to provide a management plan that the patient can understand. Sorry. And the last thing you will be learn, how to summarize and clarify the conversation, ensuring comprehension. So let's start. So let's start with first, for deeply understanding. Context, setting, a private area with no distractions. Physical space, choose an area where you can have a private conversation with patient only. Your eyes should be at the same level as the patient and or a family member. This is very much important. You should make eye contact. Sit down if you need to. There should be no physical barriers between you. If you There should be no physical barriers between you. Oh. If you are behind a desk, have the patient and our family member sit across the corner. Have a box of tissues available. The next point is very much important. The patient should be seated closest to you. There comes a body language. Present a relaxed demeanor. Maintain eye contact except when the patient becomes upset. Great point. This is saying maintain eye contact except when the patient becomes upset. Means you should maintain the eye contact, but when the patient becomes upset, you should not maintain eye contact. Number third, the touch. Only touch a non-threatening area. Example, hand or forearm, you can touch that, but you cannot touch someone's private part. Note it in your mind. Be aware of cultural issues that may not allow touching. You should understand that if the patient is not comfortable by your touch, that you should not touch without his or her consent, because you should know the cultural issues. Some people don't like to, they don't want anyone to touch their body except their husband. Obviously, I am talking about doctors. Nobody loves So then comes listening speaking skills. So I will be discussing first listening skills. Be an effective listener. This is very, 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 very much important thing, because in my surrounding I always see people does not want to listen. They just want to speak. For good communication skills with your patient or in general, you should be a good listener. So I am discussing about the clinical interviews, so I will be talking about that context. So in listening, sorry, ask open-ended questions to patient. Examples: how did you manage with new treatment? This is an open-ended question. Can you tell me more about your concerns? How have you been feeling? How do you manage with the new treatment? Facilitating, allow the patient to speak without interrupting them. Note, to let the patient know you are following them. Note, to let the patient know you are following them. Repeat a key word from the patient's last sentence in your first sentence. I think if you are confused, so I will be clarifying this. So if I understand you correctly, you are saying, tell me more about that. Time and interruptions. If there are time constraints, let the patient know ahead of time. Number two, pagers and phone calls. Don't answer, but if you must, apologize to the patient before answering the phone call. Try to prepare the patient if you know you will be interrupted. Number next is acknowledge emotions. Explore, identify, and respond to the emotion. The empathetic response. Identify the emotion. Identify the cause of the emotion. Respond by showing you have made the connection between the emotion and the cause. That must have felt terrible. Respond by showing for the identify the emotion, identify the cause of the emotion. Respond by showing you have made the connection between the emotion and cause. That must have been felt terrible. Most people would be upset about this. You don't have to have the same feeling as the patient. You don't have to agree with the patient's feelings.